Hi everyone, this is Niki Rowland, and today I have a layout for Bramble Fox to share. I'm using the March Fox box and I'm focusing on the word memories and the little pink arrow today. And I've also got the light pink home word that's like a charm, and the little lock as well, so using those two. So that's what I'm focusing on today, and I'm making a layout about home, funnily enough, and I have cut a home cut file in the shape of a house. That is from Peartree Cut Files, and I have cut that from white cardstock. I've also cut the outline out from a sheet of very patterned paper, so very colourful floral paper. That's from the January hip kit, and I have cut the outline of that on that piece of paper. So I had this kind of idea that I was going to create an aperture, and then it all kind of went a bit wrong. So I'm just kind of going with what I can. So I am mounting that onto a sheet of pink cardstock. It is also from Hip Kit, and then I am taking my white cut file, the proper piece of the cut file, and I'm backfilling the heart in a very light pink, pale pink. It's my favourite pink, called Tutu Pink. So I'm just going to backfill that heart in that, and then the word home I've also got cut out of the floral pattern paper. So I've backfilled the word home in that floral paper as well. So I've ended up with a multi-filled cut file, really, in the different colours. So I've got the word home is in one colour, the heart is in another colour, and the house itself is in this dark pink that's on the background. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure where I was going with this, but my idea was to create an aperture, and then it didn't quite work out in the way that I had kind of envisaged in my mind. So I just went with it and worked with what I had. So the layers still work. I could have just cut a piece of the pink and backfilled the cut file that way, rather than have it as a background, I think is what I'm trying to say. So you've got to try these things, and say it didn't quite work out. I wasn't quite sure what I was trying to achieve, but I thought it would look cool to have it as an aperture, but then it totally didn't work. So so anyway, we'll just go with what I've got. So anyway, now that I've got my house backfilled in the pink and the floral words home, the letters are filled in the floral pattern, then I'm going to raise the whole thing up on foam pads. Now this is where I have to get a bit brave, because these cut files are quite skinny, and raising them up on foam pads is quite challenging, because you need very skinny foam pads. So I've done that with my narrowest foam pads, but you can kind of still see them a little bit, so they obviously weren't narrow enough, yeah, just going to go for that and stick that on the aperture. So like I said, I've got this floral pattern paper stuck on top of the pink paper, and now I've got this separate cut file that I'm going to raise on foam pads. Sorry, you might be able to hear my little boy in the background. Very excited about something. So yeah, now I have this cut file that I can raise up on foam pads, and it will stand off the page, which will look quite nice, because it gives it that extra little bit of dimension. So that it was worth doing, kind of, but I could have done this without using that whole sheet in the background, if that makes sense. However, it's a happy accident, because I end up distressing the edges of the layout and having some of the pink show through at the sides. So I'm happy with how that's looking now, and you can't really see it too well on camera, but once I do it properly later, you can see the pink shining through on the side, so that's nice. Okay, so now I can actually get on with the layout, and I've added my two photos. I've got one on one side and one on the other side with a big gap in the middle. I'm going to place the word memories, that beautiful bright pink Bramble Fox perspective, memories from the March Fox box, just underneath the word home. So I've kind of created a title out of two separate pieces there, so home memories, and I love the bright pink arrow as well, and I'm going to have that pointing to one of my photos, and then I've got the two other little Bramble Fox items that I'm going to use as well, the home charm and the little padlock, so I'm going to use those as well. But right now I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my photos and with my like clusters and things. What I'm now doing is I'm making a tag to go behind the word home. So basically, because the word home is a very open design, it's not on a on a background or anything, everything shows through it. So I wanted to effectively back it so that it sat on something solid, so that it could be coming off my photo at an angle, like a charm would. But I just couldn't make it work, and the little square of paper didn't look right. So what I did was I just hand cut with scissors a small tag that made out of white paper, cardstock even, and then I could stick the word home onto there, and that just makes it show up so much better against the layers. You know, if it was just going onto a solid background, it would look fine, but because it's going onto the corner of my photo where you can see my photo, the mount, and the other things that I've got going on behind there, it just didn't look quite right. I think you would have also seen part of the cut file, the different colours of the cut file as well. So having that solid white behind it just makes it show up so much better, and definitely makes it look it just makes it a lot more readable, really. Okay, so still working now on my clusters. So I've got roughly an idea of where everything's going to go. I've got these 2 clusters going on, so I just need to build them up. So to the left of the left photo, I've got a unicorn that says dream. How cute is that? And we're doing Snapchat filters in these photos, so anything goes, most definitely. You know, I could have a giraffe with glasses on and it would be fine. I've got some music notes at the bottom of the right hand photo. Just putting in a tape measure there at the top. I've just got that poking out, you know, like I said, this is fine, anything goes. I've got a house poking out of the left side of the right hand photo. That's a wood veneer house, and I thought that went really well because it's a house and the photos and the cut file is about home. I've brought in some other pieces of wood as well. So I've got a flower on the left hand side. I've got some word label stickers at the top of the house that say eat, sleep, craft and top 10, just still fiddling around with that rainbow and quite where that's going to go, but I'm just going to use that as a layer, so sticking out there. And then I have this banner over on the right hand side that says go huge. Now I've had that for a while and keep looking at it and not being able to use it, so decided I'm probably never going to use the words go huge. I'm not sure what I would use those for. So I've got the banner sticking out on the right as a layer, and then I can put other things on top of it to cover up the wording, but I still have that little layer going on there. So no, I don't like to waste stuff, so it's nice to be able to incorporate things even if they aren't ideal for what you would use. So that was one way of doing that. Okay, so I've got my memories stuck in place, my arrow is going to go in place, my padlock's just gone in place, my little tag word home is fine. Now I'm just going to work on the left hand side. I've got a circular wooden piece, I've got a frame, a chipboard frame, that little purple tape measure that I've got there, that's just poking out of the top of my photo, so it really just gives the illusion of some extra colour, really. Just putting my photo on, tuck some flowers under the left corner and the unicorn, of course, and then over on the right I've got a wood flower and then the tag with the word home on it. Then just adding this lovely little heart ephemera that says it's time to write a new story, which is really cute. I just think it's lovely considering everything that's been going on this year. It's really nice to have a sentiment like that on a layout. Yeah, I'm just gonna carry on moving things around, making sure I'm happy with how everything is looking, adding some other little bits and pieces, some flowers. I've got some floral ephemera that I wanted to add on here and bring in some more colours. Obviously I'm focusing mostly on the colour scheme of pink and red and pink and red, you know, and I've brought in a little bit of orange as well, and some green. There's green in the background paper, so obviously this colour scheme is mostly determined by those florals in the background. So when I say it's pink and red, it's really not, it's more like a coral colour, so a pink and a dark pink or a corally pink. So they're the colours I'm focusing on the most, but then it is possible to bring in other colours because this is such a busy layout, and there were other colours in the background as well, kind of like an orangey flower and a light pink flower, and then the turquoisey colour as well, or mint green, whatever you want to call it. So a number of colours that I could bring in, and just kind of went for it really, and I've ended up bringing in some purples as well, yeah, and some yellows, and it all looks fine. I'm happy with how it looks. I was worried about bringing in too many colours and the fact that it might look a bit crazy because it is a very busy layout with that background, but you know, it looks good actually. I'm quite happy with how the colours all come together, and it just looks like a bright, fun, happy layout, and all the colours work quite well, so that's fine. Okay, so I'm now going to just add some sequins. So I have these melon ball sequins by Spiegelmom Scraps that I've got in a kit a little while ago. So I'm just going to use some of those. They're almost a perfect colour scheme because they're pink, dark pink and turquoise. So lovely, absolutely perfect, ideal colour combination. So just going to sprinkle a few of those over each of my 2 clusters and get those stuck in place. I'm not going to add any paint splatters to this layout because I've already got so much going on with that background paper and now sequins as well that I don't probably need any more splatters. The splatters would look good if it was a white background, but on this very, very busy one, I don't think they're really needed. Just adding a few little hearts at the top there. Obviously I have a heart on the top of my cut file, so I'm just bringing a few more heart elements onto this layout by adding a wood veneer heart in one of those hearts and some other little puffy hearts as well. So just making sure my photos are stuck down because I have a habit of not doing that, and getting my journaling written in, and that is me done. So I hope you've enjoyed this layout. It's a very busy one for me. The background is kind of crazy, but I like how it turned out. You know, still trying to get out of my comfort zone of using pattern papers all the time, not using pattern papers all the time. So I'm just thought I'd go for it, and I really like how it turned out. So definitely good fun. Thank you so much for joining me. That was Niki Rowland for Bramble Fox.